So, I think we got some bad news with the Atom. A little bit of slop right there. And it's not going in any gear. Do you have a hammer? Not on me. You guys remember? You guys remember how I was telling you I'm no Mike Waller? We just so happen to have a Mike Waller right here.
I brought this tiny wrench.
Yes.
I knew it would come in handy.
The tiniest wrench.
Nah, I don't think it's gonna stay though.
What? Should I run home and just grab some safety wire and just run it through there?
Yep. That's what I would do, and then just twist it on top.
Yeah.
This passes over top, right?
Yeah. Alright, so what you guys just saw was I was going to pick up my buddy Mike. We were going to infiltrate the high school car scene with the Ariel Atom. And then I pretty much pull out of my driveway down the road. I'm feeling nothing in the shifter. So what I first do is I check the linkage. I take it back to the motor. Everything's working, but the connection to the motor is not doing anything. So after we got the car running, we ended up going to this car meet. We ended up going to this nighttime car meet, unofficial car meet. And you know what, let's just hop in the Atom. And we'll go for a drive. We'll tell you all about it. Alright, so this is what happens. Some of the guys, we got some guys that live around here, young fellas in high school, and they're all into the car scene, and they enjoy stopping by and telling us all about it, and we enjoy hearing it. And they've been telling us about these car shows, these underground car shows. If I had to put a heading to the thumbnail, the title of this story, it'd be a 33-year-old guy infiltrates high school car scene with his Ariel Atom. And so they were telling us, they're like, hey, we're all meeting up at, I keep on forgetting where it is, someplace. We're all meeting up at someplace. And I'm like, all right, yeah, well, I'll swing by. And then the transmission does that goofy thing, and I text the kid. I was like, hey, listen, first of all, I feel like if I ever run for Congress, they're gonna find out, be like, hey, I see you texting some, I noticed you were texting some 16, 17-year-old boy I was in high school. What's your deal? I'll have a lot of explaining to do. Oh, we were out, going to a car show. So, the Atom's not working. I tell him, and then he's like, oh, hey, he's like, the thing got broken up, cops broke it up. I'm like, man, that's so, what are the cops doing? Breaking up a couple people, just hanging out, talking about cars. So the cops go and break it up, and he's like, well, we're all gonna meet up at the Sheets. At this point, we got the car running, and I'm like, all right, you know, Mike wanted to go too, and I'm like, all right, let's go check it out. So we're all at Sheets, and there's like no one there. There's like 5 people there, a couple bikes, whatever. I grab a drink, you know, a couple, maybe an Audi, a couple like 30 Civics, a very large Jeep Wrangler, and we grab a drink, and we're like, all right, this is a thing, whatever, nothing too exciting. And then they come tell us, they're like, well, listen, everyone is at the old Best Buy. Best Buy moved from like right near the Costco. It's a big parking lot. They moved from Costco and they moved to a different location. So they have this giant Costco and then a Best Buy, huge Best Buy, and they just moved. So it's an empty place. So we're like, all right, yeah, we'll swing by near the Best Buy. So there's an Audi and some other cars, and all these guys think that, you know, they're very fast, and we go rolling up over there, and you know, it's funny how when you're driving, the way you drive when you're young, you know, it's all like you pull out, you know what I mean? Like that's how they drive. Most of their driving is just revving it up, and big obnoxious cop magnets, man, total cop magnets. And I'm thinking, man, I'm driving an Ariel Atom. This is, I can't really be around these people like this. I'm gonna get in trouble. Cops, you know, I can keep a low profile just driving by myself, keeping, you know, whatever. So we end up, I'm thinking there's gonna be a couple people at this place. We roll up there. I'm not exaggerating at all. So I'm not exaggerating at all. The entire parking lot. Oh no! You see that? That's poop. That they're spraying poop. It smells horrible. The entire parking lot was filled with cars. I'm talking filled to the brim with tuner cars and Mustangs and BMWs and Audis and stuff. So we roll up there, and right in the middle there's a bunch of spots open, and there's a couple guys standing there, and I'm just gonna pull in and hop out, and then instantly a crowd just starts to gather around the Atom, and now me and my buddy Mike, we just become spokespeople for Atom, answering the same question. What is that thing? How fast is it? And is that street legal? Everyone would want to know, what is it, how fast is it, and is it street legal? And I'm thinking, like, I'm on the street. I'm not that much of a, I'm trying to abide by the law over here, guys. So we're there for a little while. It's, you know, there was a guy with a motorcycle, with a sport bike, maybe like a, I don't know, CBR 600. I barely looked at it because I was looking at something else that had a basket bolted onto the back of this sport bike, and he had a chicken inside of it. A chicken. This is what we're dealing with. This is the type of stuff that happens at Lancaster, Pennsylvania at like 9 o'clock at night in the Best Buy parking lot. All right? And everyone's cool. Nothing like illegals going down. It's not like street racing. Like, you know, Dom didn't show up, and although I did bring my pink slip. So then we're there for about 5 minutes, and until this happens, 3 or 4 cars away, and it's all pretty quiet, and people are just doing their own thing, and no one's doing burnouts, and it's all just kind of everyone's parking, we're all just kind of hanging out. Some guy pulls out his competition, I don't even know what car it was, some SUV. His competition stereo system in his SUV, and starts blasting. If you want the cops to show up, right, something bad is happening, this is what you do. You pull out your competition stereo system and start blasting Spanish music. Like this, crazy loud. Within 3 minutes, cops are rolling in there, just driving through, looking around, and everyone's like, yo, the cops. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I didn't do anything. You know, this is all new to me. This is completely new to me. So the cop drives up. And it's actually Lancaster City Police Department. Later, I talked to my buddy who's an LCP, who's a Lancaster police officer, and he's like, we don't patrol up there. It's so far. It's a goofy spot. It's so far out of their normal realm. You only go up there unless someone's called. So the cop goes rolling through. People start leaving. a lot of people are yelling, "Yo, it's the cops," which is hilarious. And then the cop starts driving back the other way. He turns around, starts coming back. I want to ask him, you know, hey, I'm new to this thing. What's going on here? We got to leave. What's the scoop? So I'm just wearing a shirt and pants. The mistake I made was I was holding my helmet in my hand. And I walk up, I'm kind of just like, my hands are out. I want to make sure he knows that, you know, I don't have anything in my hands. But then I had my helmet in my hand. So then I was like, oh, okay, hold on. I knelt down and put my helmet down. I walked up to him. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He was real quick. He's like, cops were called. You know, his guard's kind of up. He's like, the cops were called. You guys got to vacate. And I'm like, all right. So all these young guys were like, yo, what'd he say? What'd he say? What'd you say to him? What'd you say? What'd he say? And I was like, I just asked him what was going on. I didn't break any laws. I'm not scared of the cops. So we ended up leaving, and then we just kind of did our own thing. I'm not gonna keep on following people and keep having the cops broken up. Although we did come up with this killer idea where we start our own little segment called 30-year-old men infiltrate high school underground car scene. And then I get like a Letterman's jacket, and I'm all like, you know, talking to the other high schoolers about like asking like Tiffany out to the prom. And then every time the cops show up, I'm thinking, guys, let me know if you want me to do that, because it was insane. It was pretty nuts. But we'll do it again. We'll take out maybe the Viper. I'm gonna sell the Viper. We'll take out the Atom again. Maybe bring the van, bring the camera, and we could make some sick stuff. Well, let's all right, we're back. Let's do some stuff to the car. So everything with the Atom transmission is working fine, except for this super sloppy shift linkage. Now, I did make it a lot better with this new shift ball on it. Shift knob. Here's the old shift knob, and here's the new shift knob. The difference is this one weighs like 10 times as much. This thing is cheap. It's aluminum. There's no feeling. I actually feel the gears better with this thing on here. I got this from a place right down the street from my house called Billet Works. The guy has what the local kids call the Panda STI, and it's like some 700, 600 something horsepower STI. Wide body, huge wide body. It's pretty cool. So put that back on there. So that made a pretty decent difference with how it shifted, but not as much as it really feels bad. And so the modification for this is because this is a Cobalt SS power plant. The modification is what they do is they put Saab, because GM owned Saab for a while, so they put Saab bushings inside there, and takes away the rubber that's worn out and puts just metal in there. So that should make it feel perfect. That's what we're gonna do. We have a lot of stuff. You guys, for today. I put this guy on last week. It fit perfectly. I did have to re-drill 2 of the holes in the back here, but it is perfect, and it looks awesome. It really kind of wraps it up. The next thing we have to do, not right now, but we're gonna drill out these rivets, and then put the new D-rings I have so we can put the last panel on here. So we got a lot of stuff today to do. We're gonna sync up. I got new proximity keys. We're gonna sync them up. We're gonna put the new shifter. All right. So first thing we got to do is I got to pull this center piece out, and that's held on by four screws. One is kind of they're all almost impossible to get to. When you move the seat up, so if you look down here, you see down here, there's one screw. There's one on the other side, and then there's one way up here. So let's see if I'll get these back ones. The other day I dropped one of my earbuds while I was driving. Couldn't find it. Turned up like 2 days later on the other side. All rough looking. And it cleaned up. It was, bouncing around that fiberglass for a while. Yeah. DDM, the company that makes the twin charge kit, they made a 700 horsepower one. They said it was just, I think his exact terminology was bonkers. It was silly how fast it was, and not even how fast it was, just how ridiculous and how unusable it is at that point. I mean, and at that point you need tires that are this wide. You need bigger than Viper size tires, but just slicks. It's. I hate to be the guy that says this, but that might be too much power.
Yeah.
And
also
But I need that much power. This all up here is all fake carbon fiber.
Really?
Yeah. This is the most uncomfortable position I've ever been in my life. Yeah. It's so hard to... Honestly, I'm not even completely sure it's the same ones from I'm assuming it's the same ones from the Cobalt. I've turned that screw 1,000 times, man.
It's not loose.
No, it's coming out. It's just so long. It's like this far out. Sucked. See a little bit of play like down here at the center? A little bit of play right there. That ends up being like a lot of play up top. I wish I looked this up before. But this guy's asking the same thing on the Atom too. He actually had the paddle shifters on his, and he wanted to take it back. And it looks like the shifter was out of some Honda model. TMI sold last one a few years ago, and they don't remember the exact part. This guy's saying it looks like an 01 to 05 Honda Civic shifter assembly. I recently acquired an Atom 2. Amazing car. The only issue is I'm a sloppy gear selection from second to third. I know this is a MGTF gearbox. So I just use a secondhand cage from one of those. Or is it an Atom only job? And what parts do I actually need to remedy this? MGTF. I changed these springs in my Atom 2. There is a choice of how stiff you want them. This looks like it's from it is a Honda.
It's a Honda Trans.
It is a Honda transmission. And there's some springs that you can change. Alright, so yeah, there's springs in there. So I gotta do some more research. This what the heck is a MGTF gearbox? Let's search for that. Oh well, we'll put that back together. So these are not gonna help us out. Because these don't work. I got to do some more research and figure out what the deal with that is. But that's not going to do anything for us. So instead of ordering the proximity key from the company that makes them, I ordered the entire kit off of eBay for like $100, and I have 2 more keys. I just got to figure out how to reprogram it. All right, so to reprogram it, Step 1, remove your existing transponder tag from your keyring. Open the driver's door. Red LED will flash. I don't have any of those options. Disarm the system using the existing transponder key. Okay. Disarm it. Switch the ignition on, off, on, off, on. On, off, on, off. On. And then it says let's open new keys. Pass the first transponder tag close to the ignition barrel. The red LED will flash once. Pass the next one. Ooh, it did something. Alright, there's no possible way. It's that easy, and I did it that successfully the first time. Okay. New key. Alright, so that one new key works. That's awesome. Oh, shoot.
What?
No, the original does not work. Because I never held the original up to the sequence.
What?
So, the original first one, opened it up so I can add more into it. So I held the two new ones up to it, and then it erased the old one.
So what does that mean?
I have to do it all over again. Turn it on. Okay.
That was 3 times, right?
On, off, on, off, on, on.
There you go.
Alright, that one's good. That one's good. That one's good.
Because how much was an individual key?
Would have been like $80 or something like that.
For one key?
I think so, yeah. I had to order from the UK.
Wow.
All right. The original works. Let's try the other ones. Works, man.
That's awesome.
Got that solved. The coolest thing about these keys is these are passive. These are passive proximity keys. So there's no like battery or nothing like that. Nothing can. There's a little bit of glass in there. It's kind of falling out.
Got it.
So it was pretty important to me to get this thing replaced because it's gross and semi-broken. Alright, so now we got the car in position. The next thing, we're going to get these new tires on it. We did a 0 to 60 run a couple days ago, maybe last week. The best we got was 3.8, and we were doing a lot of spinning. That was using this guy, the Edge Insight 2. So that's pretty accurate. So we're going to take these wheels and tires off, jack it up, and then get the new tires on. We're also going to get these, there's a little bit of curb rash on 1 or 2 of these wheels. We're going to get that done, and we're probably going to get the wheels painted. If any of you guys have an idea, I think what we're going to do is, they call it black chrome. It's kind of like a gunmetal. It's actually kind of similar to what a gunmetal would look like, what these wheels look like when they're really dirty, but a little more consistently. I don't want black. But I do want some type of, he said black chrome. It looks more, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So what I did was I had a couple wooden blocks made. When I say made, they're 4x4s. We're gonna stack them on top of each other. I mean, there's nothing, this is the radiator. The lowest part's the radiator. I obviously cannot jack it up. I can't jack it up from that. Yeah. I just feel like, I don't know why I feel like it, but the car's so light. One, I didn't want the jack stands messing up the floor.
Sure.
All right, let me take those tires off. The heck are those?
Ooh, is that a wheel lock?
Well, they all kind of look like wheel locks. And whoever said it, I said I should toss them and get real regular lug nuts.
Is that what everyone else said?
Yeah, those look kind of, you know,
funky,
gummed up a little bit.
Man, that sounds like a really great idea.
And it says they're 12 by 1.5 inch studs.
Okay.
So let me snap a picture and run to the auto parts place and go grab that tool, I guess. And if they don't have it, maybe my friend Mike has it. Alright, so instead of buying that tool, I'm going to see if I can borrow it from my buddy Mike. So I'm just going to replace those lug nuts and put normal, regular aluminum neon pink lug nuts on it like most you know, tuner cars do.
So are they a sketchy glove for drugs?
Most men use a glove as a toolbox.
Oh, okay.
Alright, let's go see if this works. What would you use?
Sock. A Ziploc bag?
Sock.
A Ziploc bag, maybe? A Tupperware container?
I need to do a wire transfer.
Sure. Who would you like to send the money to?
Tyler Hoover.
Okay, no problem.